Hello, it's Randy. This is Hound Dog Hollow. And today I'm going to be doing a live on some different um, areas of study that I'm going to be focusing on in 2020 as far as spiritual growth goes. Because Lord knows I'm going to do a lot of learning in nursing and medicine for grad school. So um, this is kind of magical focus. So I'm going to start with bone throwing. I've been really curious and interested in this form of divination for a couple years, but I always felt like when the time was right for me to take this up, that it would kind of fall together organically. Um, that it wouldn't have to be something that I would necessarily have to go terribly out of my way to pursue. And so, one of my favorite witches and creators, Anita, or her actual name is Marie, and she's the owner of Anita Apothecary. She kind of hinted that she would be having a bone throwing set for sale. And so I patiently waited for that to come out, and I did some research on what some good books would be, which is actually kind of difficult because there aren't that many good books on it. It's kind of a not as popular form of divination. For numerous reasons, I can kind of see why it's kind of ephemeral and really personal. So, the two books that I ended up with are Throwing the Bones by Catherine Wood, and Bone Shells and Curios by Michelle Jackson. This one's actually better than this one. This one is very interesting. It's got more of like, what is this? What's the history? What are the different types? And so there's basically four different types. So slaughterhouse bones. So basically when you kill and eat an animal, or maybe not even eat it, but typically eat, and you do divination from the bones, usually the scapula. So people in like a lot of places, but Europe talked about, especially the scapula of sheep or oxen or whatever it was. So scapulomancy, and then there was plastromancy, which is mostly Chinese, and it was from the shells of turtles. And then there's full coronomancy, which is something we're all familiar with, and it's about the clavicle bones or the wishbones of birds. So chickens and turkeys, so you would cook them and eat them, and you put your finger on either side, and you kind of decide if each person makes a wish, and they try to break it, and whoever has a longer half will get their wish come true. So then there's also mathematical bone divination. So those are things like dice and dominoes and other variations of those, and they're considered bone readings because originally dominoes and dice were made out of bones. Then there's sortilege. So you would use like so many of an item, and you would do like a toss. Oh wait, no, that's mathematical. The tossing of heads and tails is mathematical bone divination. I'm trying to find a good example that we probably would know of sortilege. So like gypsy dominoes is when you would throw 3 dominoes, and you would read what that means from the dominoes that you got, what suits which of the dominoes you got, and so on and so forth. And then you have the Yoruba dominoes. Hi, I'm fine, Love Bug Lip. How are you? And then there's the actual like bones that are divined. So we're talking about some people do all possum bones and do divination from that. Some people do all chicken bones, and some people mix bones And it has a really nice diagrams about like these different bones mean these things. These different sections of the body correspond to these signs. These different animals mean these things. Of course, everybody's different. So coyote may be a good, benevolent creature to you, whereas it kills all my animals. So definitely not a favorite of mine. Oh, Lord. I dropped it and I couldn't get it up. So what I don't like about this is that it's more of a historical thing. It tells you about how you would do it. So like how you would prepare your bones. Oh, good. How you would prepare your bones, how you would cast. So people can cast on a mat or they would cast on a circle drawn on a dirt floor. It's very informational, but not so much practical. But it's good to have the information. The other book is way more practical. It's more of her experiences, which I think that is more helpful if you wanted to do the thing, which is what I want. So basically, she talks about how in her method, it's really a way for your ancestors to speak to you. It's a way of ancestral communication and animism, because the bones all have their own messages and ways that they want to be. I do need a different container because right now I have a wooden container, and I feel like my items would better like a basket with a soft cloth inside. But that's just the feeling that I'm getting from them. It tells you how to cleanse them. It's a small book, but it's got a lot of information. How to smoke them, how to cleanse them, smoke them, bless them, feed them, and then the different pieces of bone and what they mean in her set. Of course, my set and every single person's set will be different, but her set definitely has items that I want to make sure that I have. So a raccoon baculum, I have that. I'll talk about that when I get it. A possum rib with a healed fracture, I do not have and I need. Of course, we have possums and raccoons and squirrels and all of those animals here in my house. And so the best thing I think is, as I see them as roadkill or whatever, to collect. So a Hamza hand, I really would like to, but they're kind of limited. And, you know, runes is a type of bone throwing technically, because the runes used to be carved on bones, but runes kind of have like a really set system where you would have your marks that mean a thing, and then those combination of things would tell you basically everything that you could possibly ask. Whereas bones are way more like for example, let's look at one of the bones. So a raccoon binaculum, which is the penis bone of a raccoon, means fidelity, loyalty, a good person who will respect and take care of you. And basically, she has about 60 or 70 pieces, where runes, I want to say, are in the 20s, right? You would draw a circle, you would ask your question, and if you're reading for somebody else, you would give them a symbol, or if you're reading for yourself, you would have a symbol or a piece that symbolized yourself, right? And so you shake it. You would ask your question. It's very important that you breathe on them, that they warm to your breath, that they know that it's you. And you would cast it. And the things that fell in the circle would be pertinent to the reading, and the things that fell outside of your circle would not. And then the circle is kind of divided by quadrants. It can be, but that's how I'm going to do it. So vertically, on the left-hand side would be things that are past or things that are falling away. And on the right-hand side would be things that are coming to you. And then above and below, so things that are moving away from you and things that are coming towards you. So past, future, away from you, towards you, right? Heidi. And so she's going into all these different bones. I don't have all of these bones. I don't have any jaws. And I didn't have an arrow, but I bought one yesterday. I don't have any coyote bones. And basically, it's not just bones. So it's bone, shells, and curios. So different parts. Um, Although she says that these pieces are made from bones. So I opted not to get an arrow made of bones. I saw them. I actually went with obsidian, um, which I felt was better for my bone kit. Um, so a mask, a crucifix, a die, and then what that would mean. A child, a goddess, a skull, crossbones, etc. I'll show you what I have. And she has very detailed. So it's a really, really good book if you're looking for that. So then the shells listed and what they mean for her, stones and what they would mean. And then this is really more of a, like, now I'm not gonna say hoodoo, but like an African inspired way of reading. Although bone casting has pretty much been in every culture in some way or another. And so the metal pieces, the ceramics and glass, and the seeds, pods, and herbs. And then she talks about extra pieces that she could add depending on who she's reading for, what the reading is about, a piece for traveling because some pieces are more fragile than others, things that she uses to maintain her. Hi, Summer. Things that she uses to maintain her deck, or her not her deck, her set. And so Quaid's cologne, extra shells, porcupine quill, which I need. I had one, I lost it ages ago. A rattle and bells. I bought a rattle in China, so I might see if that will work for me. Candles in a candlestick, an anointing oil, and so on and so forth. And then she talks about this is her particular reading surface. I think that I'm probably just going to get an animal pelt that has inscribed a circle with a quadrant. She talks about getting to know your personal set and kind of identifying as you cleanse and smoke and feed your deck, I want to say deck, but it's a set, how to do that and kind of how to identify them and to keep a journal about what each piece means to you. And of course, the other book has about 5 pages of meanings. And this book has several pages of meanings as well and example readings. So that's pretty helpful as well. But of course, things are going to be different to you based on numerous things like your experience with the animal or the object, how you got it, any sentimental attachment to it. I mean, there's always going to be all these personal things. So she talks about cleansing in between readings, reading for other people. You can feed them tobacco or mugwort. Some people give them some of their menstrual blood. It's up to you. So time, she talks about, this is a really interesting section about time. So if you have a circle, right, it's actually, she uses it the 12 quadrants, which is like zodiac signs, also times. So if you had it divided like a clock, it would be every month, it would be every sign, it would be every hour, and it would give you an idea of timing, which was a really interesting concept that I understand because I really like astrology. So she has all these different relationship reading advice and how these different shells could be meant to symbolize, because again, this person really feels that a lot of it is ancestral messages. This one was really, the samples of readings were very, very helpful to me and helped it all fall into place. So basically this guy is saying, is my business cursed? This is going to succeed, right? And then she gives you an example. I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo sun. I'm an Aquarius moon, and I'm a Pisces rising. So this is an example, right? And so the person's symbol is right here. So that's the most important spot. What are the things touching the person? However, he's also asking about his job. And look, the thimble symbolizes work. And the work is very far from the person. So what it kind of tells her right away is this is not about work. There's something else going on here. She has a couple key things that she always pays attention to help her kind of sort through what is happening. because for all intents and purposes, if you don't have some guides, it looks like a hot mess. So she has these are sea urchin spines, and they divide and point. So they kind of separate things that are important. Then she has this bracelet. Anything that falls into the bracelet are things that the person should do now. Okay, and then this is the person, so those are important. And she has a sparkling diamond or rhinestone. That's also important. And where is that? I forget where that is. I think it's over here. So then she breaks it down bit by bit. So this is the section with a person's figure and how all of that fits into it. And she breaks it down piece by piece, location. And it's really, really interesting because you're really relying on the symbols, the symbolism. And then she breaks down each little section. Like, he's afraid of somebody talking bad. This is the things that he must do right now. And just very, very interesting to me. It's really cool. I'm really excited. And just breaks it down bit by bit, each different section. So, I mean, if you're going to have to do a lot of soul searching, it's very individual. And if you already have knowledge of divination forms that are really symbolism based, it can be a help and a hindrance because you really you're used to looking for symbology and numerology and things like that. However, some people want to fit it into the lens of tarot, or they want to fit it into the lens of whatever they're familiar with. And it's not like that. It cannot be contained in those parameters. You can start that way, but you lose a lot of the nuance is what they try to get at. So this is another one about a relationship. These are all how everything fell, right? So the person is here, right? Then the man figure is here, far away, right? And the female figure is here. They're far away from each other and they're far away from her, okay? And then she breaks down about how each different thing fits with the other things, and it kind of means that she's, it's not going to go well. and then she talks about a quick daily reading. So all in all, great book. It's a lot of reading. You would have to read it, and I can't really explain it here. She has a lot of different resources that you could check out. Unfortunately, I could not find most of those books on Amazon, which is my main book finding location. So I'm just going to show you what I have. And so I'm not sure if this will work, but I'm going to give it a try. And it's a Florida water soap that I was thinking to use to cleanse. If not, I will make some Florida water and we'll see how that goes. When I bought it, Marie was having a sale where if you bought something, you would get a free candle. And so I actually got bone reader oil, which you can anoint it with right when you're getting started to kind of warm it up, anoint it, toss them through your hands, speak to them, and ask your questions. And it smells really, I don't know, like leather chairs and whiskey. I don't know. It smells different than any other oil I have. I really like it though. This is the candle that it came with, a really cute little work of art itself with a little skull, the different shells, a bone, a dice, a stone. So that's going to be the first few times. And let's get into the real thing, which is my set. So this is the thing. I've done this before in a video. So I've got these dice. These are the ones that I ended up with. So face up means something, then face down. And they give you suggestions for that, but of course you're going to have to figure it out on your own. The dice, each number symbolizes something different. Like, even this is where your numerology and also your tarot knowledge and so on and so forth would help, because 1 is like beginnings. 2 could be choices. 3 could be so on and so forth. 5 is always terrible. I hate 5 as far as tarot goes. But, I mean, strife. I just don't like it. Shell. The shell I'm really going to have to go through because I'm not really sure which is where. How to identify them. This is a devil's nut. And of course, this to me looks like an unakite. Amethyst. I mean, this looks like a snowflake obsidian. Rose quartz. This little pumpkin squash dude. Mine only has two dominoes and a dice. But it's just a starter kit, and I'm going to move things around myself. And it's got different shells. And the two books go extensively into shells. But I'm not super familiar with different types of shells, so that's something I'm going to have to do my research about. This is a hawthorn spike. It's not in the book, but it's in my kit, and so this is a raccoon baculum, the penis bone. And then a lot of these bones I'm going to have to go through and kind of probably going to send a message to Marie and ask her what's what, because they're not, I didn't get like a paper with it or anything. Ooh, I have seen Scrabble tiles. Very interesting. I do want a porcupine quill. I need a porcupine quill. I'm going to keep an eye out for one. And I'm going to keep an eye out for sea urchin spines too, because I've seen those, but I didn't pick them up. The reason that I did this video instead of what I was actually going to do is because my dogs were having a ruckus. And I asked my husband, I said, I haven't seen the dogs in a while. And somebody had let them in the front yard, and that's a whole different story. So thank God they weren't killed on the road, because some of you may know that one of my dogs got in the road this year and got hit by a car and thankfully lived. But they totally had the dead head of a cat that they were munching on. And I just had my husband dispose of it because there was nothing that I wanted from the animal, and I couldn't determine like what kind of death it had had, and I didn't feel right taking something from that. So it did make me think the bones, once you start looking, they were everywhere. Coin. Probably going to switch the coin out. I don't like this coin. And I happen to have some real silver dimes and quarters that I'm probably going to use. This is a little fragile vertebrae. I got a ton of cowrie shells, which I don't think that I'm going to keep all the cowrie shells because they're basically identical. And I don't think I need all that. Some things that I do want are a rattler. This is another little tiny vertebrae. So these are really fragile, and that's one of the reasons why I want to get it out of this box. Some kind of claw. Yes, Etsy does have a lot of bones and stuff, but I kind of... This is a little skull for the ancestors, so that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. It's a bigger cowrie shell. It's a long bone of some sort. Some of these I'll have to identify. They may be toes, they may be different parts of different animals, but I'll have to ask Marie and then kind of try to figure out what I can. This looks like a patella of something. This looks like a toe of something. This may be a clavicle of something. I'm not sure. That's part of the hard part, is that I don't know what all these bones are. And that's kind of the danger. Yes, homie, yes. My turtle. That's kind of the danger of ordering one. And I love Marie, but I wish that she had given me a paper that was like, okay, these are your pieces. And, to start me out. A lot of other places have that. But that's okay. She did not. And I've got to go back and ask her, because the listing had the boneless. But the problem is, once they sold out, which is like the first freaking night, she took the listing down. So it's just a matter of me sending her a message to get a boneless. I could get it easily. I just haven't communicated with her, which I intend to do. So I've got a couple. So one of the things they suggest is, once you get your bone kit, which, by the way, the book tells you there's a really, really nice company. And of course, Etsy has them too, but there's a really nice company called the Lucky Mojo Curio Company that will sell you a kit and give you a bone list and get you started. And they have a variety of different bones for sale. I've been to their website. They have basically every bone that she kind of deciphers in there. The only thing you're not going to get from her is like human bones. Okay, so a couple things that I have collected. So I found some metaphysical shops near me on a weird errand to get ducks. And I got myself some sweetgrass, which is a whole different thing. That's not for the kit. But one of the things that they suggest is a linga stone. And I have a giant Shiva linga. But I got this little tiny. So it's just the right size. So that's another thing. You want things of a size that they would be easily thrown. So I'm adding that. So it's going to be definitely on my list here. And then I got this little beauty. That I'm going to add to. Beautiful. And so the arrow is actually to point. It kind of points in a direction, of course, obviously, like your arrow points north or whatever. But also, part of the thing is that it, I don't even know where I should put this. I'll put this right here. Is that it can symbolize attack, swift movement, lots of different things that you might want to do. And she also talks about individualized. So like if you were a tarot person, you might have the major arcana and each of the suits symbolized by a piece in your deck. Or if you were really into astrology, you might have each of the planets and zodiac signs symbolized in your set. So they recommend an abalone shell, which of course I have a ton of these all over the damn place. And a button for connections. And I got this button in Alaska. It's a moose houndler button. So really cool. Let's see. They recommend a ring for connections, commitments, etc. I have this ring that I've had. I bought for myself to wear, but I actually don't wear rings that often, so I'm going to put it in there. I have this beauty from a candle. Sugar Muses did a Raven box. And this beauty I've been holding on to. It's been calling me, so I kept it. And now it's going to go in there. I've got a Chinese coin that I'm adding in there. Elephant is like strong in business, pushing through burdens. Good symbolism. I love elephants. And granted, all of these little bits and pieces, these are things that I found in my house. The two things that I showed you, I bought for 75 cents for the arrowhead at a rock store, and the Shivaling was like $1. Everything else I've been collecting, because you guys know I collect stuff. And then, let's see. I have a key. I have a little bag of keys. So I'll put one of those in there. But a smallish one, and the reason for the smallish one is because, ooh, this is a nice simple one, I think. I kind of like that. It's a little bigger. But sometimes the key is big. Or maybe this, I don't know. Well, I don't like the hearts. I want something that's like a simple and classical key. So I'm going to stick with what I have. I'm going to put that in there. And I got these from the Witch's Moon. They're beautiful little acorns. Acorns, seeds, new beginnings. And they each have a little message on the back. So those are pretty cool. And I've been saving these Nickety Knacks forever without knowing why, but now I know why. This one is a little owl that I got, I want to say, in a Sugar Muses box. Oh, that's really cool, Dee. I don't have one of those, but I wish I had one. This is an owl. Little owl pendant. So she has a garnet or a ruby bracelet, and I think I'm going to use this little labradorite bracelet. Oh, yeah, suitcase keys. Yeah, owl for wisdom or knowledge. I'm going to take this off of the chain. This was gifted to me in one of my friend exchange boxes. And it's an opalite moon. And of course, this way would be waxing. This way would be waning. And then I'd like to get a two-sided, maybe a bone or something similar about this size, with one side white for full moon and one side black for new moon. Because all of those things mean different things. I have this badass coin from Midnight Muses. Yes. No. It's one of my favorite items that I've ever gotten from them. And so that's it so far. I've got to keep working on it. That's one of my, oops. The box doesn't want to close. Oh, no. Okay. Hold on. Let me get these things a little more flat. There we go. Yeah. So that's it for the bone throwing. I want to work on it over the course of this upcoming year. That's one of my things. I'm not going to rush it, though. I've been approaching this very intuitively and letting it speak to me. And it does. It does, because I'm naturally a magpie. So if you are naturally a magpie or creative or very into symbolism or synchronicities or things like that, which I am, and I know a lot of you are, it's really nice for me to just, it's just making a divination kit that's basically only for you. And if you don't even feel comfortable with bones, I really don't think, I think it could be just curios that meant something magically to you. So like, and some people have a variety of things, and it's totally up to you, however you would want to do it. So that's one thing. The other thing, we already talked about the planners, so I kind of, just a quick review, because I have them right here. I'm going to be working, or just a charm set, exactly, Dee, exactly. I'm going to be working through this one again. This one has companion decks that I'll be working with, and I will show you my decks shortly. The Herbal Almanac, and I also have a companion project for that, which I will show you shortly. The Magical Almanac, great, great. This beauty, which I love, but just one small minor things when I was going through it. This heavily inked page left my hands blue afterwards, so just be careful. This is the 2019. Oops, I put it in the wrong pile. Anyways, the 2020 version of this. Oh, the Witch's Companion, which I was telling you guys yesterday. It's basically different articles about contemporary paganism. So really cool, including controversial or things that we argue about. So that's pretty cool. This one will probably be, it's a duplicate, so it's probably going to be in my 900 subscriber giveaway, which is pretty close because I'm actually at 880. Witch's Almanac is a classic, very good book. Moon sign book. I live by life by the moon. And of course, the Sabbath Almanac, which is just basically part of another project. So those are my books, and I'll kind of talk about my projects here. So I kind of mentioned this before. I'm trying to learn how to be a better plant ally. You know what? I never did. I'll get to it, but I never did. I never did any scrying. It just didn't happen. And it was not something that I felt was good to force myself to do when I wasn't ready. So I didn't do that. But I did have an Ancestor Altar. And just to be real, story time, I have an Ancestor Altar. And I had candles for my female dead and my male dead, children dead, and animal dead. And my female dead candle, it cracked and almost shattered. And I couldn't burn it. Nothing I could do would make it burn right. And it cracked the glass all the way up and it turned black. And it's not good. So I did not burn that one. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it scared the shit out of me. Everything else is burning fine, and this one just shatters. And so then I tried kind of like, okay, fixing the wick so that it was not close to the side, or it was even leaning towards the other side, and it would lean back towards that side, and it shattered it more, and then the whole thing turned black. It was not good. So clearly, and I feel like I know who the trouble is. I have a grandmother, and I loved her dearly, Abuelita. But she, you know, things didn't go so well, and I don't think that she is part of the loving dead, so to speak. I think she's still got a lot of things to work through. And so I'm really, really reading into ancestral healing and things that we can do to not have a problem. I will say that I know without a shadow of a doubt that she would never hurt me or mine. I will say she has a fucking attitude problem. So, Walita, we will work through it. And I want you to be at peace, and I want you to be right. But clearly, she was not ready for that offering, and so I backed off. Every other candle burned quite lovely and was very receptive. And I dreamt of her. That's another thing. I dreamt of her, and in my dream, I saw her, and she was with my grandfather. And I was talking to her in Spanish, only in Spanish. And I was very concerned because she was going on this journey, and I was loading her up with shit and advice and just like, be very careful. And she didn't speak at all, which is not like my grandmother. My grandmother had a million things to say all the time. My grandmother was the boss. But she didn't speak. She just looked at me, and she didn't look upset. She just looked, I don't know. She just looked at me while I gave her all these instructions, and I was really worried that her journey wasn't going to go well. Her and my grandfather were together, though, so at least that's something. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not pushing it, though. You should never push that kind of thing. I had a really bad experience in my youth, and I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that. No, we are not doing that. So, we'll get to that. It's going to be okay. We'll try again. Maybe she didn't like. Part of the thing was that I could not find a proper Virgin Mary candle. And I had to, I think I had to do the Virgen de Guadalupe, which is not a Puerto Rican thing. At least my grandmother, I don't think she felt like that. So maybe if I have a proper Virgin Mary one, she will she will appreciate that a little more, maybe like it a little better or something. Or maybe she wants the Jesus one. I don't know. But we'll do something different next time because she was not pleased. Or maybe it was somebody else, but I can't think of another relative that comes to mind so quickly. So that's how that went down. I didn't do any scrying, but I have it. I saved it. I will get to it when the time is right. Everything in its season. But so anyways, I wanted to be better at growing things. So these are month by month what you should do in your garden to grow things. And that, I know, right? She's so sassy. That is what I'm going to be. So this is for my area, and this is for the Pacific Northwest in general. And it says, like, every month, these are what you should do. These are the seeds that you should start. This is how you should plant it. And I'm going to try and be more faithful to that because I usually say, oh, it's spring. And I go and I buy all these seedlings. And, oh, yes, sorry, summer. I do. I got this in the witch's box. And I'm going to use it as my garden book. It's got some little pockets here. But what I really liked is a place with lines for notes, a place with grids for setup and planning, and a place with just blank papers for drawing, a little thing for saving. I think this will be a nice keepsake. So that's part of my project. I'm going to follow the advice from my area and grow some pretty cool things. I love journals too. I have so many, but that one's going to be for that purpose. The other thing is, so I have all the almanacs, which also, yes, it's cute, isn't it? I have my almanacs, which also help me live in the moment, but then I have this little, these are my books that are like seasonal or day-to-day appropriate. So one of the things that I'm very interested in my spiritual practice is the idea of being present in my life, and the time and the season and the moon cycle, being aware and present of where the astrological bodies are. Just sorry. Spilling things all over the place. Oh, my wrist is so weak still. Okay, so basically, this is one of my oldest books too. I got this about the same time as I got my first tarot decks. It's for the Goddess Guide to Love, and it's basically every season, things that you can do for love. And it's not just like, she has a goddess doesn't chase love, a goddess attracts love. Like, it's just basically about seasonal living with a love tinge. It's definitely some love stuff that I could do with my husband, but it's also you could do with yourself. So I'm going to try and do some of those things. I bought this book and I never went through it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I didn't really like the other work by Deborah Blake, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not a dedicant. I'm pretty far past that, but I bought this and I got it as a gift. And I think I need to use it, and this is also a month by month book. This one I got as a gift as well. It looks really fun. And it's also seasonal by moon and by season, and like journal prompts. So that one's pretty cool. Same thing, seasonal. Like in January, you could do this, and February, you could do this, and different projects and it's just really pretty on the inside. Different invocations, different projects, different blessings, different celebrations. Very interesting to me. Your standard Wheel of the Year book. What I like about this one is it talks in more detail about what's happening in the sky, like astrologically. And something that has been one of my favorite things to do every year for the last several years is the Pleiades meteor shower is always on my birthday, and it peaks around my birthday. Where do I get all my books from? Barnes & Nobles, Amazon, gifts. I usually put my books on my Amazon wish list, wish list, and I get a lot of them. And then people give me gift cards, and then I buy things too. I buy a lot of things. You guys probably know that. This one was a gift as well. Almost all of those were gifts. My friend got me this, and it's pretty interesting, and it's got like by season again, different things that you can do for self-care by the seasons. So really just a deeper dive, so to speak, into like seasonal present living. And I can talk about those more as I go through them. Some of you may remember that I started an astrology study group. I did all the work, but I didn't have time to post all the things. And so I thought that maybe instead of necessarily posting my notes, sorry, I got distracted because there's little baby fish in my tank, which is really cute, but don't get too many puppies. They reproduce a lot. So one of the things that I'm hoping to do is to make videos or maybe even lives talking about like sun and all of the information, and moon and rising, then the inner planets, the outer planets, houses, signs, aspects, things like that. I really like astrology. Astrology is in almost, we have a lot of it. It's mythology, it's different. You could even find, the astrological connections between some of your major arcana cards and your zodiac symbols. Some of them are really obvious, some of them not so much. And so I've got a stack here with all my astrology books in a little binder that I'm going to work on, hopefully. And then the last thing, if people are interested, is I have all of my cards in a big box right here. And people have, not lots of people, but some people have been asking me, how many decks do you have? What are all your decks? And I'm always like, I don't know. I had started a study group on Facebook, and it was okay. I put a lot of my notes up there. It's just like, so for a Facebook group, you have to really like post and stuff every day, and I can't do it. I can't do the work of actually keeping everything. Yay, Summer, Happy New Year's. You have a good night too. It's 3 hours away from me, but many blessings. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful 2020 and a wonderful decade. Roaring 20s. Woo, here we come. Hopefully they're better for us than they were in the 1920s. But we shall see. What was I saying? Oh, the decks. This is a bag that I have my oldest deck in because the box is long, long gone. And even I have the little white book. I have the actual book in my closet, and I have the novel. They're a little bent and beat up, but I do love them. It's a Lover's Path Tarot. Yeah, my oldest deck. So I'll just put them aside as I go. My other oldest deck is in here. And it's I forgot this snail shell for my bone throwing kit. Let me just pull some of these out of here. I brought them in a box in here because I wanted to carry them all in one shot instead of going back and forth and back and forth. Of course, it's all the way on the freaking bottom. So, the Goddess Guidance cards. They're great. I love them. I've used them forever. They're a really cool, helpful deck. Yeah, of course, Heather. It always is hard to trust what you read. A really good book that I have bought for myself, and of course, there's other people in this chat right now that are more well versed, but I really like Tarot for Yourself. And Llewellyn has a complete tarot book. I think that the Modern Witchcraft has a complete tarot book as well. So those might be good resources, and I'm sure that other people in the comment section also have really good information about resources as well. I'm not super well versed in what's available. Those are I like to read hard copy books, and those are the ones that I have read. So it was many, many years before I got another deck. And the deck that I ended up getting was this one. Oh, bang. I love this deck. I've done a video review on it. It's my Spirit de la Lune. They're in another printing, so they're even prettier now than they are. I love round decks. They're really good. I use, these are my daily cards, and you kind of just go through them as you go through the moon cycle. So these are a favorite. I think the next deck I got was in a Witch's Moon box, and it's the Celestial or Astrological Oracle cards. These are nice. They're helpful. Yeah, I really want the Archetypes deck by the Wild Unknown as well too. But those Spirit de la Lune ones, if you like moonwork, they're very nice. Let's see. I'm trying to gauge them by the newest to the oldest. I think that this one is the next one. This is the next one I bought. And so the ones that I buy are the ones that I'm really... Oh, Heather, yes. The Spirit de la Lune I love. I can't speak for anybody else, but I've had those cards and used them almost daily for 3 years. And they really are good. They really go with me. Oh, that would be so beautiful, Dee. So pretty. So this one is just a feast for the eyes. I love Colette Baron Reid. I love her art. This is the Animal Oracle. They are pretty big. Pretty big deck, and so it's a little bit harder for me with my little hands to shuffle. But they're just beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love this deck. I particularly work with it on the new moon. Because they have a really, really nice spread for that. Then I believe I got this one from the Witch's Moon. This one's not a favorite, but it's not bad either. I usually will just do like a card from here just to get an idea. It's the Mystical Wisdom. The back is really pretty. And the insides are really like detailed and stuff. They're just not, there's just something about them that precludes them being like a primary deck for me. I don't know. I can't pinpoint it. I know for myself, I do not like any one gender only represented in a deck. And it's very female heavy. We'll see. I don't know. I do use it. Probably only on the Sabbats. Otherwise, I don't really use it that often. This was gifted to me by Natalie. She used to have a subscription box called I'm Alchemy, and it was amazing. It was so good. And then she got really sick, and she couldn't do it anymore. So lost touch with her, but it's really nice. I love these cards. I bought the book, and so I will be reading that soon. Really fat little book. And this one's very ephemeral. It's not ever. This is all goddesses. So I do like, if it's a goddess deck, then obviously I don't mind it all being goddesses. But if it's not, if it's an oracle otherwise, then it should have, polarity. Oh, Happy New Year, Love Bug Lip. So different. What I love about this is the cultural diversity. All different cultures, all different religions. Just really, really a feast. This one's more of a Sabbath one as well. Sometimes full moon. Um, very nice. I like it a lot. It's just more of a philosophical or contemplation deck as opposed to a giving you an answer deck. Let's see what else we got going on here. These are all pretty recent. So let me see what's less recent. Oh, thank you, Heather. So I'm gonna divide them up now into oracles and tarots because these are kind of I can't remember the order that I got these in. Oh, the Queen of the Moon was a really nice one. I got it in a Wevolve box, and that's been really pleasant. I really like that a lot. It's got some very beautiful imagery, and I also use it daily for to follow the moon. It's got some really interesting, beautiful imagery that I really like. So definitely like this one a lot, and it's also a daily use one. So these are all oracle. Let's see, oracle. Okay, then these are tarots. So I got this in a Sugar Muses deck. I want to say it was March. Shadowscape Tarot. I haven't even opened it yet, but I've seen it a lot because a lot of you guys like it. Then I watch your channels. I don't know what I intend for this, but I'm gonna get to it. I've got this one in a Sugar Muses box, Tarot La Nuit. And I know that a lot of you guys have done this one too. It's kind of like a vampire gothy kind of thing. It's very, very beautiful. I know I'm gonna do something with it. Maybe I'll work through it when I do shadow work at some point. But I haven't used it yet. The last tarot deck I have is the one I just got this month in the Witch's Moon. The Golden Art Nouveau tarot. If I were to buy a tarot deck, because I don't, usually do that. I don't actually buy any tarot decks for myself. I haven't in 15 years. I would buy that Tarot Musha. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh my God, I love it. I just haven't felt the need to buy another deck, but if I was going to buy one, it would be that one because that one is just a feast for the eyes. It's so beautiful. So then some oracles. So you've probably, guys, anybody here is probably familiar with this because we've been following D through this. Yes, I can see that, D, because it is just a decadent, absolutely stunningly beautiful deck. So this comes with, oh my God, my nails. The cards. That's the reason that it's here today. So these are the backs. And these are the cards. They're just so pretty. So that's one deck. I'm going to probably take apart and find a really pretty, something like this probably to store it in. Or maybe a small, really, really pretty canvas bag, probably from Tamed Wild. If there's one thing I can say for Tamed Wild, is that they make the prettiest little bags. Then I have the Bestiary. The Crystallary is coming out this year, and I can't wait to get it. This is so beautiful. So, so cool. I haven't torn up the cards yet, but I will show them to you. Ah. And I'd like to work with these in conjunction with my spirit animal deck that I already have. So your white-tailed deer tells you which ones are in danger of extinction. Do you want? You might not want to peek if you want to be surprised. I love this. It's a caucadeus or caudeus. It's the symbol for like the medical field. The bear is really beautiful. This is the, oops, I have it upside down, I'm sorry. Butterflies, raven, froggy, wolf, orca, owl, beaver, grasshopper, or katydid, but it looks like a grasshopper to me. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good idea, Dee. Elephant, nuthatch. This is like an owl. This is a squirrel. House mouse. They're really, really beautiful. You're gonna love the book. So this is the woodpecker, the swan, screech owl, and the tortoise. This one's the finch, the earthworm, the sea eagle, and the zigzag spider. So finch, earthworm, sea eagle, zigzag spider. I love this one. This is the fox. I'm gonna call my son my little fox. This is like a 5-line skink. Badger, right? No, skunk and sea turtle. The zigzag spiders, yeah. Honeybee, river otter, a horse, and humans. So it's really cool. That's a great idea, Dee. That is a great idea about putting all the cards together. I got this one for pretty cheap at Barnes & Noble's because I had a coupon and I'm a member. And then I think I used a gift card. Yeah, I like that too. That's really cool. The book is really beautiful. So Blackmon Astrology Oracle cards. I like this one a little bit better than the astrological Oracle cards because it has like your signs, Lilith, the planets, and houses and things like that. I'm going to do the really big boxed ones so that they will be on the bottom and not knocking everything over when I stack them. So just bear with me a second. So I got this Goddess Power Oracle. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to do a review on that, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it here. I just got this for Christmas. I'm also going to do a review on it. Mystical Shaman Oracle. Beautiful. So beautiful. Again, a lot of Colette Baron Reed. Those are the biggest ones. And then the Angel Oracle I haven't started working with yet. One of the things I'm really superstitious that I like to cleanse them around a campfire before I start using them earnestly. So I'll look at them and kind of enjoy them. But before I really start using them, I like to bless them on our first camping trip. So I don't know how I feel about this one. We'll see. I used to get an oracle. So there are subscription boxes that give you an oracle deck or a tarot deck in each month, and I used to get them. However, I've discovered that I don't effing like that. I like to pick it myself. The Lightworker Oracle. I didn't really care. I didn't connect with the decks that were sent to me like that. A truth ritual. So we'll see. I'm gonna try to connect with them. And some of these have been camping with me. I just haven't deeply connected with them. I don't feel like there's any rush. Peace Oracle. This one though is divine. So great. I love this one. I got this one in a box, but I specifically tried the box because I wanted this deck. The box didn't last, but I really like the deck. And so the 4 before that were all from that Empowering Oracle. Then there's this one that was also in the Empowering Oracle deck. This is a Conscious Spirit Oracle. Then I got this one on the sale, the $9 sale, or the 50% off sale at Hay House. And this is another Colette Baron read. And then I think all these are from boxes. Hold on. No, I bought these from the Wish app. The Universe Has Your Back. No booklet, no nothing. I do. I like Oracle a lot. And then the Wisdom of the Oracle. And we've already had this discussion. Eventually I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to dive into the tarot, and I've been collecting books and I've been watching your guys' videos, and I've kind of been gauging, like, when I'm ready, when it happens, I'm going to start fresh with a beautiful tarot muha, however you say it, and I'm going to bless it in the campground. It's going to have good memories, and I'm just going to learn a new deck. I love this deck. This deck doesn't give me sass anymore, but I really feel like when I do intend to dive back into that, I'm going to do it with a fresh deck. I got this one as a gift from a friend. Crystal Grid Oracle cards. Very, very nice from Nearest Major, from a subscription box from New Zealand. So very cool. Then these are from The Witch's Roots and the Midnight Muses. I can't wait to use these, but I haven't started. This is just a really beautiful bicycle deck, but I'm going to use it for cartomancy, and it's from Sacred Space Crate. I've heard that, Dee. I have heard that. And then these, I included their little plant allied talismans. I got them in the Witchcraft Way box, and they're actually really, really cool. So it'll say a plant, and then it says like a little commercial bag. They're really, really beautiful. So this one's calendula, a wink in the looking glass, the top of a lit match in the dark, a hot cup of tea in a wintry pair of hands, an amulet carried in the heart. Beautiful. And Maya Toll, who does those herbiary and the bestiary books, she worked on these with this person who created these. Chamomile. In the winter of the soul, chamomile envelops the heart like a blanket, warmed by the wood stove, bringing quiet, comfort, and a reminder that summer is a state of mind. We can call on this friendship anytime we need to, for a belly laugh and a safe place to rest. They're great. They're great cards. So simple, so lovely. I really, really like this deck. I really like that Witchcraft Way box. I know it's a newer one, and it's kind of, finding its footing, but I really like everything that they've included so far. And that, my friends, is all I have for today. I know I just come on here and I ramble for like an hour plus. But that's my plans for 2020. I mean, there's more plans. I have a lot to do. I want to get good grades. My son, I want to really make sure that he's prepared for kindergarten. So we're going to try and read 1,000 books before kindergarten. We're going to camp a lot. We're going to Japan in June, maybe, unless I get pregnant and then you can't travel. Pregnant, it just depends. I hopefully will get pregnant at some point and have a beautiful baby. So that's another goal. Yeah. I have the cartomancy book, so I'm gonna see how that goes. 1,000? A thousand. um, we'll see how it goes. I want to have a really good garden this year. Um, basically, what I'm gonna do, I sit down with my husband and we do something called level 10 life. And so you make a 10 by 10 grid, and each grid is a topic. 1,000. Yes, 1,000. Hi, Gabby. Oh, that's another thing. I got the boxes out. So yay, I'm actually caught up. They don't have a lot of word. Andy, they count if you read the same book over and over again. So let me tell you what, we would already be there because my son went through a panda bear, or brown bear, brown bear. What do you see? I see a red blah blah blah, a red cat looking at me. I don't even know anymore. I don't want to know. But we read that book so many times. Oh my god, so many times. I just can't even. So yeah, it's pretty easy because they count each time you read it. It doesn't have to be a different book. If you read it over and over again, they count that. It's just that kids need to hear a certain amount of words to really learn how to read. So we're working on that because he's good with numbers, but he still doesn't do his ABC. He says like 17 J's, like A, B, C, D, F, E, J, 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 J. It's like, not J's. But we'll see. I have a video. I can't post it of him because I kind of believe that you should try not to put your kid on the internet. It's kind of a violation of privacy thing. But he does do so many J's. He's like Hawaiian or something. I know. Right now he's watching the same old stupid cartoon. It's great though. I'm blessed. I'm so blessed. He's so cute, and he just turned 5, and it's been wonderful. I can't wait to have another one. So that's for my son. You know, we have a lot of stuff to do for our house. I have a lot of stuff I want to accomplish at work. A lot to do. So basically, we have this thing, and you level in life. You can look it up. It's really fun. Or it's on my Pinterest as well. I didn't make it up, but you kind of grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being horrific and 10 being amazing, on these different categories, and you color it in so you have a pretty little representation of what's going well and what's not so well. And so from there, we make goals like, okay, once I'm done with school, I will get a different job. So I'm a registered nurse now. Once I'm done with school, I'll be a family nurse practitioner. So I'll have a master's degree and I'll be a provider in the state of Oregon. So new job, new responsibilities, and new pay. Um, so things that might be like career or physical environment, spirituality, your relationship, your family, your physical health. And you might say, okay, I'm doing really good on these ones, but I gotta stop spending like a crazy person on my finances. So my goal is to live within my means. You know, I want to work with the same company. I really like helping the underserved. I work with a federally qualified health center, which basically means that we work with really poor people. Um, migrant workers, homeless, people living in poverty. I mean, we see everybody. I'm a patient. My husband and son are a patient, and a lot of the doctors are patients, and a lot of us are patients at our own clinic. It's because the doctors are good and the staff is really good. It's just that we do see everybody, regardless of if they can pay or not. So that's really nice. And if you work for a federally qualified health center for 3 years, they'll pay off 80% of your debt, which is substantial. So that's the plan, is to do that. That's my long-term goals. So probably I'll be done paying it off. Oh, Oh, thank you, Lori. RN MSN, you go, girl. I'm not going to be an RN MSN for until 2022, but and then we're doing a 3-month trip to Alaska, so it's going to be worth it. Thank you so much for watching. I do love doing this. It's one of my favorite things. I love the community, and I also I like medicine, and I feel like medicine is deeply related to this work, healing and herbs and all these things that are ancestral and cultural and spiritual knowledge on healing that we've kind of lost. Oh, thank you, Lori. But I think that we are turning the tides and heading back towards acknowledging different we call them complementary and alternative medicines, and there's more and more research and good studies that really help. There's a lot of really good ones, Kathy. For Heather probably already follows Dee. She does a lot of tarot, and so does Rochelle on Amethyst Ascension. There's a lot of really good tarot channels. So there's any of that, and you guys are all doing really good work, and I'm watching your stuff. I'm just doing different things, which there's a room for everybody on YouTube, I think. But I don't even know what I was rambling about. Oh, and then we make goals, and then we set a word of the year. We've already set a word of the year. We did it backwards this year, in that we set a word of the year for each other. So I gave him productive, and he gave me persistent. And we're going to see how it goes. We'll probably do that and set goals tomorrow. Right now, the boys are watching cartoons, and I'm going to wrap this up, and we're probably going to, we have a fruit plate with cream and cheese dip. Oh, yeah, he's awesome. And the vegetable dip. And it's going to be good. It's going to be wild over here. We got little poppers. I got a 5-year-old who just doesn't want to sleep in his own bed, so we're going to have that battle. It's going to be lit, you guys, at my house. Hope you guys have a really good New Year's Eve, and I hope you have a blessed 2020. I hope we all do. It's going to be a good year. I know it. It's my Jupiter return. It's going to be a good year. Different is wonderful. I'm really, really happy to be part of this community. And this incense is just blowing in my face. It's purifying me, purifying my soul. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good New Year's. I'm probably going to post something tomorrow, but I don't know what. If you have any ideas, let me know. Blessings, blessings, blessings. It's going to be a good year. Inhale that confidence. Exhale that doubt. Everything you touch is going to turn to gold. I promise you. Everything you touch. Have a wonderful day. Ooh. Oh, bone throwing live readings. I'm so shy, but I will try. I think I'm going to go through step by step, and as I go through and cleanse and kind of think about what I think it means, I'm definitely going to go chronicle that journey, because I also want to identify those damn bones. And, we might be processing some of our turkeys. And so I want to make, and definitely some of my roosters, because my poor hens have got like raw bloody backs. Jerks. They are not gentlemen. We're going to get to that. But yes, that is something that's going to be coming up. I love you guys. Blessings. Everything's going to be amazing. Have a wonderful night. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Think happy thoughts. It's going to be great. Love you guys. Good night. Yes, a turkey feather. I can get that for you without killing anybody, D. But more on that later.